Hey folks, I'm Walter, and getting married on a cruise ship is such a romantic thing, and there are a lot of weddings on cruise ships and at the destinations every year. But here's a few things that you should know if you're thinking about having a cruise wedding. Now, number one, did you know that your guests don't necessarily have to be taking the cruise to attend a wedding on the ship? Yeah, it's called an embarkation day ceremony. So it's the day that the ship is, guests are coming off the ship, the new guests are getting on the ship, getting ready for the new cruise to start. You can have your wedding on that day on board the ship, and you can invite a limited number of shoreside guests to come on board, witness the wedding with you, go to a little reception, and then they will be escorted off the ship before the actual cruise starts. Now, you can't invite everybody. You can't say, hey, all 300 of my friends, come on board. There is a limit to how many people will be allowed to come on board just for the wedding, but that is an option to keep in mind if you have guests that either don't want to cruise, maybe they can't afford to go on the cruise, but they'd really like to be a part of a ship wedding. You get married on embarkation day, and then the rest of the cruise is your honeymoon. Now, if you're thinking that ultimate romantic moment where the captain marries you at sea, there's a few things you should know about that. And number one, if the captain is not a judge or a notary public or a justice of the peace or a minister, your wedding is just going to be for show. It will not be legal. So just because they're the captain of a cruise ship and you are in international waters, unlike all the movies and TV shows, no, they do not have the authority to marry you just because they are a captain. It still needs to be legal. And you can't get married by the captain on any ship, any cruise line. There's only certain cruise lines that even offer the service, such as Princess, Celebrity, MSC, Cunard, and Royal Caribbean. Those are 5 of the cruise lines that do actually allow the service, but again, they have to be legal. And one big consideration for getting married at sea on a cruise ship is the marriage license. In general, you have to get the marriage license from the country where the ship is flagged. So on the backs of all these ships, you'll see Malta or you'll see Nassau. That's where the ship is registered or the flag that it flies. In general, that's where you have to get your marriage license from, and it's not nearly as easy as, say, going down to your local courthouse to go get a marriage license, such as Celebrity Cruises requires you to get the marriage license from Malta. That's where their ships are registered. That can take 90, 120 days or more, so you've got to start your planning very early to get those marriage licenses. Hey, if you're enjoying the channel, please subscribe and hit that little bell icon, and the next time you have travel plans, please consider booking with us. Thank you. Getting married at a cruise port or a destination is extremely popular, and the cruise lines can certainly help you with that. You can get married on the private islands, or you can get married at any one of the destinations that you're going to. And one of the nice things is the cruise line wedding planner can help coordinate whatever it is you need. So it's not like you have to worry about contacting Jamaica or Barbados or wherever you're going to try to figure out the minister, the location, the catering, all of that stuff. The cruise line wedding planner themselves can help with that because they have lists of vendors and locations and things like that to offer you. It makes your life much easier than you having to go out and try to locate everything yourself. And of course, if you decide to get married on one of the private islands, well, the cruise line's pretty much going to provide everything for you. You know, say like you want to have a Disney wedding. You'd like to have Mickey and Minnie show up during the ceremony. Well, you can do that on Castaway Cay. A Disney wedding at Castaway Cay sounds pretty doggone amazing. The size of your wedding, especially if it's going to be on the cruise ship itself, is going to be limited. I've seen reports of up to 150 maximum on some of the ships. In general, it's anywhere, say, between 40 and 60 people is the average size of a cruise wedding, especially if it's going to be on the ship. Now, that's not to say extra people can't be on the ship, but the amount of people who can actually come in and witness the ceremony with you will be limited to whatever that venue can hold. And you may be surprised to hear that cruise weddings are generally cheaper than their land-based cousin. So the average wedding package on a cruise line starts anywhere, say, $1,500 to $3,000. Now that depends on the cruise line, obviously, and that does not include your fare. So your fare is a whole separate category. This is just the wedding itself. And according to several publications I saw, an average cruise wedding is about $20,000, whereas an average land wedding is about $30,000. And when you consider that $30,000, you're getting a wedding, whereas $20,000 into the cruise, you're getting the cruise as well. So you've got your entertainment, the destination, the port, you got your meals on board. So you're getting more for your dollar when you're on a cruise because you're also getting the vacation instead of just one single day. And you should know there are a limited number of weddings per cruise line and per ship. So it's not like you can just pick up the phone and go, hey, I want to go get married next week on a cruise ship. It may not happen. So the further out you can plan, you can get the ship you want, you can get the itinerary you want, you might even get the captain you want, because they know the captain's schedule. So if there's a particular captain, you might even be able to get that as well, but you gotta plan as far out in advance. And as I said, every cruise line has a wedding planning division. So whether you work with us as a travel advisor or you have your own travel agent, they will work with the wedding planner to make sure you get everything you need. You do not need to make 500 phone calls to all these vendors to figure out how you're gonna have everything put together on the wedding. All you have to do is pick out the ship you want, the itinerary you want, and then we'll work with you, either us or a travel agent will work with you and the cruise line wedding planner to make sure you have the absolute perfect wedding and honeymoon. For those of you watching, if you've gotten married on a cruise or a cruise ship, I definitely want to hear about it in the comments. Now please subscribe, hit that little bell icon, and when you have plans for travel in the future, consider booking with us at Where's Walter Travel. Links in the description below. Thank you.